Hello there, my name is Linda Jo Martin, the book lady, and today I am doing a tag video. This is the first time I read a book tag. I saw this tag earlier today being done by Todd the Librarian, and it was originally started by Madman, Reads and Rocks, whose name is Ryan. So basically there's no questions, you're just supposed to talk about the first time you read a book. So the first time I remember reading a book on my own was when I was in first grade and we were reading the Dick and Jane books. Very basic. And I don't know if they're ever used anymore, but they were really the thing that people had to read when they were in school in California in the 1950s. Well, I was, 1957 is, or 1958 probably was when I was learning how to read in first grade. I was born in 52. So I don't have any copies of the Dick and Jane books. I'm sure they're collectibles at this point. I've seen a few pictures on the internet. So since I do not have those books to share with you today, I thought I would share something similar but different. This is a 1957 textbook for mathematics, Numbers for Everyone. It was an 8th grade textbook, and I found this in a secondhand store in Wairika about 15 years ago. Really interesting, I thought, was at the very beginning of the book, there's this is Unit 1, and it features people in the military. Now, mind you, this is a mathematics textbook, but they're putting military indoctrination in it to make children want to go into the military, I guess. And it says, mathematics, mind you, numbers for everyone. Here are the slogans used in some of the patriotic services of our country. Join the Navy and see the world. Uncle Sam invites the boys of America to sail the seas and to protect the honor of their homeland throughout the world. Second, okay, there's the Navy guy. I guess this is the Army. Uncle Sam wants you, he says to soldier-minded youths who are proud to be prepared to fight for the stars and stripes. The sky's the limit. Air Force. The sky's the limit is the call to aviation, the call to fly and flight if need be from the air. Always faithful is the slogan of the Marine Corps. Whose members protect American lives and property everywhere. Always prepared well describes the Coast Guard, which guards our ports, our equipment, our safety along the full extent of our great coastline. And the whacks and the waves and the wafts and the spars and the women Marines, of course. The women who serve our Navy, our Army, our Air Force, who serve as nurses, wherever needed, well earn the honor paid to them. Find and discuss in class the book, Finish High School First. Report to the class what you know or can learn about the West Point Military Academy and the Annapolis Naval Academy, Uncle Sam's schools. Hats off to Uncle Sam. And now maybe we'll get into some mathematics, you think? Okay, math is on the next page, no problem. So I love actually the illustrations in this book. The math problems are pretty interesting too. They're a lot more complex than what children are being taught today, which I know what 8th grade textbook looks like because I homeschooled my kids, 2 of them. But there's some nice vintage illustrations in here. Let's see if I can hold that open better. And I liked all the word problems and everything like that. So, yeah, 1957. And that was about the same year when I was reading Dick and Jane books for the first time. Oh, sorry, I put that I've got the camera set on a typing table, and I put the book on there and the table rocked back and forth. Sorry about that. Anyhow, Dick and Jane, how I enjoyed reading the books. In fact, the teacher told me, I guess this is when I first became cognizant of the fact that I was reading a lot. I didn't know that I was reading more than the other children in the class, but one day I asked her for a book to take home, and she started looking through all the books, and she said, like, Linda, you've already read all these books. I don't know what I'm going to give you. So then I realized that I was really reading a lot, and until then I didn't know that I was reading more than normal. So I don't know what she gave me. She probably gave me some textbook. And none of the textbooks that I read in elementary school really stayed in my mind. But when I discovered the library in elementary school, I started reading biographies like George Washington and Florence Nightingale, and I don't know who else, Booker T. Washington, and I also started reading Nancy Drew books, and that is what I read when I was a child. My mother did read some books to me when I was younger than kindergarten age. She used to read things like The Little Engine That Could and Dr. Seuss books, and yeah, just a lot of things. We had a lot of good literature in the home. So I want to add this. When I was a teenager in the 1960s, we didn't have what is known as young adult literature today. So the books that were in my high school library were the same books that adults were reading. So the books that I read when I was a teenager were things like Stranger in a Strange Land, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. books like Slaughterhouse-Five and Cat's Cradle, and Herman Hesse books, and Ray Bradbury, of course. I read a lot of that. And Catch-22, I remember reading that when I was in high school. Tag time. I'm tagging Andreea In Bookland and Stacey Loves to Read. I hope that you will both enjoy doing this tag, which is simply to talk about the first book that you ever read, and I guess your feelings about it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.